Jemson, would you like some building tips?
Yes.
Perfect. Because I'm about to give some building tips that might help build better cities for better somethings. I don't know.
Are we playing City Skylines?
No. But
Okay.
this might help. Tip 1. Use foundations for walls. The walls we get are pretty crappy. Jake, do you have an example?
I do have an example.
Oh, yes. So that's the wall we get. And you can change it to...
that's no better.
No. That's concrete.
And that's even worse.
And that's even worse. So let's take a look at what we've done out here using foundations. So these are all foundations, most of them. And you could do so much with just foundations. Yes, they're bigger and you can't put a wall, electricity through it, but you can make it work. But it makes...
just take a look at this building over here.
Yeah, it makes so much...
There's windows on the edge. There's windows sunk in. You can add so much detail to it.
Yeah, foundations are the way to build. And we have them throughout our whole city. As you can see, we've created quite a lot of our buildings, if not all of our buildings, with foundations. And you don't have to use the whole foundations. You could use the half foundations. And maybe someday, Satisfactory will give us quarter foundations, which would be nice. But
I doubt it.
Yeah, that's tip number 1. Let's go ahead and check out number 2. Tip number 2. Display items. What do you mean by that? Well, let's take a walk over here.
I don't know what you mean by that.
This is our kind of hub for everything and our blueprint maker. And it's nice to just lay things out like these power shards. How do you do it? Oh, look. DNA. So let's come over to here. We have a Mercer sphere on the wall. It's kind of in that little shelf unit, but we got these new shelf units, which are really cool. And I could take this Mercer sphere. Whoops. There we go. And open up my inventory and just drop it. Wherever it went. Where'd it go? I don't know. Let's try that again. Drop it. There we go. And you can display it on a shelf. And you could do that with any item. Let's go ahead and try something else. Let's move a little closer.
You might have to finagle it a little bit.
Yeah, it takes a little practice. Spot. There we go. That's on the corner there. And you just have to kind of keep playing around with it and moving it around. And it's a great way to display your items.
Disclaimer, by the way, this is in the experimental 1.1 version.
Correct.
So 1.0, this still works, but you don't have all of these shelving units or anything like that.
Exactly. But yeah, hopefully soon it won't be experimental. And yeah, you can use it to put your items on. So that's tip number 2. So frames are cool. What do I mean by this? Let's go ahead and open up our Q menu and go to architecture. And we have these frames, frame floors, foundations, ramps, and walls. And I kind of made an interesting little pattern over here with the frames. If you click on them, they do attach to the walls. And let's come on outside. Over here, I used it to make the walls on our power plant here. And yeah, it kind of works. It just looks nice. It fills in. And if we come down here, you can see you can use them, and they just look like cages. You can kind of wrap your walls right in here like that. That's using foundations. That's using these walls. And it just gives some interest to your buildings and gives you more options to make walls.
You know what else I like to use them for?
What's that?
Come over to this building over here. This black building. I mean, you can see it in the floor here.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
a little pattern in the floor.
So Jemson used these frames to make a pattern in the floor. So they kind of overlap the concrete, but let's go ahead and...
get in the elevator, I can show you also. It kind of serves as a double purpose here.
Purpose?
It's also frames in the ceiling to add some more detail to it.
Yeah, I like it. But yeah, you could do a lot of things with frames, and it just makes the building look way more interesting. So yeah, that's tip number, what was that? Tip number 4?
3.
3?
3.
Oh, we're on tip number 4. All right, let's get to tip number 4. Tip number 4, copy settings. Well, this is new in Experimental 1.1, and it is one of the best, I think, upgrades we've gotten. So over here, we have a machine. It's got power shards in it. It's set up to do purple power slugs. It's got summer sloops in it. If we copy this, just like this, it'll automatically, if you have it in your inventory, set it up exactly the same. This also works with signs. Let's go ahead and come on outside. Or actually, we could just...
Did you copy it, by the way?
What? Yeah, I copied it.
Now, how did you copy it?
Oh, I copied it using the middle mouse button. Or the... Well, mine is the scroll wheel. So using the scroll wheel,
so
if I just press down...
Scroll wheel.
Exactly. So we have this sign here. And maybe I didn't like the placement. But before I move it, I'm just going to copy it using the middle mouse button. And make sure your little arrow, which is new, so it shows you which way is up, is pointed up. And it instantly...
Another great feature.
Yeah, copies your sign. So you can move your signs without having to redo all the settings, which is great when you're doing lights too. So like with these...
And it keeps the same color on any buildable that you copied from. I copied the bridge.
Yes.
Green beam. It kept the same colors.
Same thing with this foundation for the stairs. It keeps the same color. There we go. And that is super saving of time right there. That is the best. Yes. Made. So let's go on to tip number 5. Painted beams. Well, we kind of just saw an example of that. Painted beams are your best friend. Honestly, you could do anything with painted beams. They move diagonally, they move vertically. It's just great. But the best part is if you want to light up your factories or your handrails here we have, anywhere in your city you want to place something even diagonally, you can use these painted beams and you can actually set up all your lighting and your signs any kind of direction you want. And it will work. We can go here. Let's go ahead and click R. And then we got a diagonal. And if you were to put a sign on here, say like this. Now, if you use control, you can turn it like that. Now they're off a little bit, but that was my mistake. But anyway, you can actually delete these painted beams and they will stay. So painted beams are your best friend, honestly.
That's another thing you can do with them too.
Let's see, show me.
So let's just make a painted beam diagonal, right?
Yes.
And let's say you want a concrete piece that is sideways, where you can attach it to the end of it, and it is whatever direction you want it to be.
Wow, that's perfect. So yeah, you could do so much with painted beams. Yep. Definitely try them out and play around with them. And yeah, enjoy painted beams, because that is like the best, one of the best building features is painted beams. I think you made this bridge out of it, didn't you?
I did, yes.
So yeah, painted beams, that's the one. All right, tip number 6. Flat is boring. So, if you plan on building a city, which we did, the best thing you could do is not make it flat. Use different levels. We've utilized making different heights, and it just adds so much more depth to your city and interest just using different heights. And one of the biggest things I think with levels is make sure, first off, if you want to kind of get your builds correct, make sure you stay on the grid. There's a grid that you can hit control when you get down, when you first start. and it will help line up all your foundations. That's the word I'm looking for, foundations. And we actually messed up right at the beginning a little bit. We made that copper building over there, and I actually used a half a slab, and now everything is a half a slab off. So be careful when using that, but definitely use different heights, because it just makes the build way more interesting and realistic if you want a more realistic look. Yeah, it's boring. If you make everything one layer, one flat layer, it would be absolutely boring. So definitely use layers. So yeah, that's tip number 6, I think. I hope. Let's get to tip number 7. Tip number 7, overbuild. So what do we mean by that? Well, I just walked into a pole. So, when you make a factory and you set it up, a lot of times it'll be beginning game, medium game, you know, in the middle somewhere. And you run out of room quickly if you actually build a building around that. And what you really want to do is make sure you leave enough room to add more machines when you can upgrade to Mark II miners, and you're going to have more resources available. And a lot of us, what we do is we start the game and we have Mark Is, we have slow belts, we just kind of use the resources we have and we build a building around it. And then when we can upgrade those things, we don't have enough room to work with. So in here, this is our aluminum. Don't mind the messy belts over there. That has to be fixed. But there's way more room than we needed. And this is so we can expand. We can actually take this up a level or two and show you a little bit more.
Sorry, the elevator's at the top.
Of course it is. Ding, 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 ding. Feel like I'm waiting for the... There we go. Which, by the way, this is amazing. We have elevators. Let's go to level 3. 3. I think it's 3. It's fine. But elevators are amazing. Use elevators in your builds. That's an extra little tip there. But in here you can see we have plenty of room. We can expand this. We have room up above, down below. We could even take a sneak peek right down in here. Let's go take a look here. That is our floor below, and there's just plenty of space. So overbuild your buildings, especially at the beginning of the game when your resources are low. All right, tip number 8. Add interesting, oh my god, I can't speak. Tip number 8. Add interesting sign designs. Let's go show you what we're talking about. Come on out here.
Why don't we start in here? Why don't we start in here?
Well,
look at the lighted signs you got in here.
Yes, so this is all made with signs. Some of them are different sizes. And yeah, this is just to make some light inside a building. And again, you could copy these settings just by clicking the middle mouse button and continuing all the way around. So, over down in here, we have signs on buildings.
Over down in here.
What?
Over down in here.
Yeah, let's come over down in here. So anyway, we have some lights on here. And then down over in here, we made signs with this pattern and just kind of made like this kind of interesting area for where our skate park is using signs. That is all just within the settings, and it's something they give us. So you can select an icon and use a background, and we use this little background here and just change the color. And you could use snowflakes, you could use faded. A good example of the faded, let's go ahead over to our plastics building over here, which I really like this faded look too. It looks really good. Right over here. And you can see the blue and the white, and it just adds way more interest. And then another one is on this building over here. Let's get over there. There we go. over here, we just use symbols. And there's a website that Jemson had showed me to use these symbols. And it just looks like maybe some writing, foreign country, some symbols. It gives it way more interest.
Well, especially over here in the skate park, it looks like graffiti.
Yes, we wanted... Oh, you could hear the music is really loud over in the skate park with the boombox going. But yeah, we use this to make it look like graffiti. Woo, that is loud. And also just making signs like, have you grabbed your nuts today? You know, we have a couple of great little one-liners for our...
Can I show you my favorite sign?
Factory? Yeah, show me your favorite sign. Where is it?
Alright, it's over here.
Where are you? There you are.
So it's on this billboard over here, and it's hidden. It's a hidden sign.
Oh,
I wanted it to like not be noticeable. But back here, I put a picture of our water bottle and I said, now pollution free.
Perfect. Yep. See, so you can really take a lot of initiatives with signs, and you could really just make them whatever you want to make them, and it does add way more interest to your city, and they just look so cool. I can't say enough about signs, but I'll leave a link to the sign over there with the symbols in the description below. Tip number 9, leave airspace as windows. So you might be thinking,
wow.
What? What?
No.
Yes.
No. Never.
Oh.
Don't ever do that. That's horrible.
Well, sometimes in this game... Well, this game has some limitations. And with this building over here, I really wanted this angle, and there was no windows to make this angle. So just by using these steel beams and leaving it open, it made a nice looking building. And I left it open. And another big issue I have is even like corners of buildings, like let's say these buildings here. If I did this in glass and these corner pieces right here, let's highlight it. These corner pieces like that. The worst thing about this is there's no glass. So you can make an all glass building. So I would take this and turn it into, say, a glass like this, which looks amazing. But then when I got up to this part, I can't do any glass. And so you can just leave it open and nobody will know. It looks just fine. But hopefully, Satisfactory.
I know.
Guys, you're listening? Let's turn these things into glass. And by the way, this is that ugly concrete walls we were talking about. But this is kind of just a makeshift little building for nothing in particular. So don't mind that little building.
So if Satisfactory wants to make this simple, if you go into your materials list,
yes,
you see you have roof materials.
Yes.
There's a glass roof there.
Right.
Let's just get a glass wall.
That's exactly what I was looking for. And I noticed, because I have the 8 meter walls, is it? The 8 meter walls, you can't turn into glass. So actually, let's look at those. So we do have these nice, interesting walls that we could use. It's tilted walls. And you get something like that. But you can't make it into glass. And if you could make that angle into glass, you could do something spectacular. Like that would have worked for that building over there if I could turn it into glass, but I can't. So yeah, but you can just leave things open and use your steel beams and it works. Tip number 10. Attach catwalks to buildables. Now, Jemson...
Wait, you can do that?
Yes, you did not even know this. So...
No, I didn't.
I can actually technically just come to this constructor right here. And if we go to architecture and we have our little catwalks here, you can actually connect this right to your machine here. See? Yep. And you could connect machines to machines. Now you can zoop it, obviously. And
that's insane. That's gonna change everything.
Yes, most machines have them. So let's come on over. And we'll take a walk over to your big major fuel add-on here. And I'm already snapping, as you can hear. I'm snapping to the front. You can snap, I believe, to the sides. Yep, you can snap to the sides. Like that. And you have a nice little catwalk between your two machines. See that?
No way!
Yes. And you can bring this all the way down. Whatever you want to do. And it does snap. You can snap it to the front. Just like that. And this works with most of your machines. So you could snap catwalks pretty much anywhere. Even up here. See?
I had no idea.
Yep. I can do another catwalk there. Now the sizing obviously is different. Yep. So catwalks, especially, I'll erase that later. Catwalks are great when you want to kind of leave like this open area. You don't have to enclose a building. In here, we didn't enclose it completely. Down here, we just use catwalks around it, but you technically can space this out perfectly to make catwalks run right across all these machines. So as it is now, it's not spaced out, but that is because Jemson didn't know about this, and I'm sure he'll use this in future builds. But if that was over to there, he can connect the two up like that, and you can catwalk across. So it definitely is a game changer.
I'm definitely going to think about this next time. I want more! Do we have more?
No. Well, if we go to your channel, we'll get more tips on Satisfactory, won't we?
Really?
Yes.
No way.
Yes.
Wait,
in
I see
fact,
a bonus tip over there.
You told me about the T one where I can give you a thumbs up. So if you press T, you can change your emojis like rock, paper, scissors. Yes. Thank you. So anyway, that brings us to our bonus tip. Exactly. Get rid of fog. Now today, of course, when I first started the game, it was way more foggy. But even now, you can see there's a lot of fog and you can't see many of your buildings quite clearly. So if you use the tilde and you press R and then dot or period.
What's dot? Period, okay.
Fog. And then space 0.
Okay.
Click enter.
All right.
And boom, fog is gone.
No more fog.
No more fog. And
I gotta be your best hype man ever.
I'll tell you, if you're either a content creator or just a person that loves to take screenshots of your city, this will make it way clearer. So you can definitely take beautiful screenshots now without that ugly fog. And thanks for hitting me. So
you're welcome.
If you got anything out of today's video, please like, subscribe, comment, share, and leave comments. Ow! Leave comments below. And also we have a Discord. It's the G&G Club. And please upload your screenshots. Come join. Talk about Satisfactory. We play other games. But yeah, we'd love to hear from you. So link will be in the description for that. So see you next time. Thanks.
Yep, bye.
Bye. As I fall.